And so if you weren't there, you're left with history books and what's taught to you as the truth. So I wanted to take a look at time and our past, the history of the earth, and we can all decide if this is something that we truly believe or is it something that has a different agenda. It was definitely taught to us, but was it taught to us the right way? So let's look at a packet of 1,000 years, which is quite a long time. A lot of generations in there, and you can just look back at what humans have accomplished in the past 1,000 years and seeing that we've come quite a long ways. Then to look back at 4.5 billion years, you need to realize that there is 4.5 million packets of 1,000 years in that time frame. So that's a long time. A lot of things can happen, but I wanted to kind of draw that out so we can all see what that actually looks like. So if we take those 1,000 years and we put a bunch of them together, 10 by 10 squares, then now we can see what only 100,000 years looks like. Still looks like quite a lot of time there. And we can take these packets of 100,000 years and shrink them down. And we can see by filling the screen with those, putting 5 across by 5 down. Now we see what 2.5 million years looks like. So let's take that 2.5 million years, spread it out a little bit till we get 4 by 4 squares of 2.5 million years. And now we're looking at only 40 million years. So you can see if we look real deep in there, one of those little packets of 1,000 is barely even noticeable with 40 million years of history behind us. But let's keep going. Let's take that 40 million years and put those into squares 4 by 4. And now we can get to 640 million years. And finally, with those 640 million year squares, we can just put 7 of those. And 7 times 640 million years is about, give or take a few, 4.5 billion. So that's an amazingly long time, and let's rewind back just so we can see where we came from. That 4.5 billion was separated down to 640 million year squares, which came from the 40 million year squares, which they themselves came from the 2.5 million year squares, which came itself from 100,000 year squares, and all of that came from the 1,000 year square. So remember, inside of that 1,000 years are basically 10 100-year lifetimes. And each of us gets to live but only one of these squares. 100 years, and if you just start thinking about what has taken place in human history in the last 100 years, science will tell us that we have gone to the moon, that we have counted all the stars, that we've made airplanes and flown them across the world, electricity. How about all 3 world wars have taken place in the last 100 years? So 4.5 billion is a ton of years, yet the universe is 13.8 billion years old. And to get some even higher numbers, our sun has 100+ billion like it in our galaxy. Some say 200 billion. And the closest one of those suns to us is 25 trillion miles away. So now we've moved on to trillions, which aren't even close to what we were talking about in just coming up with 4.5 billion years. And to get some even more fantastical numbers, our galaxy is one of 10 trillion galaxies. So believe it or not, they have counted all the stars, and the total number of stars is a 1 and then 29 zeros. That is what they'll have you believe is the number of stars which they've counted. And as Neil deGrasse Tyson says, the great thing about science is it's true, whether you believe it or not. And so this is what you must believe if you believe in science. So what science has done is given itself a nice little cush existence. And you might ask, how did they do this? And really, it wouldn't be too hard if you think about it. Let's say that we all wanted to make people think that they were insignificant, small, and that they didn't matter. You could just go through this step-by-step process. So first, you'd come up with your facts. And then second, you'd tell people that they could either believe in religious nonsense or your proven theories. Next, you start spreading your info. Fourth, you create schools and universities where they teach your facts. Next, you would hire only the teachers who believed in your facts. Number 6, you'd create a system of peer review based on submitted papers, but you would only allow those who believe in your facts to review papers and only those who went to your schools. 7, you would demand diplomas for those to enter into your high priesthood, to become your teachers, to become your scientists, your Bill Nyes, your Neil deGrasse's. And then you would teach others to laugh and make fun of anyone who talks about other facts. Then lastly, you make sure that the only people who get funding from the government are people who believe in your theories, your facts, and who are doing further studies to prove your theories and your facts. Must be pretty nice to always be right no matter what, because if you ever get proven wrong, well, the great thing about science is ever changing. It's the discovery of new things every day and the changing of old theories, except for the ones they tell you are fact. Did I confuse you?